but it's too late now. So we're live. I think the thing on the live stream's going round and round in circles, but usually when that's happening, we are actually live. Hi guys, it is Nicola here from Conscious Crypto Traders. I'm really excited to be announcing that instead of just doing one live stream each week where we do a whole weekly analysis of Bitcoin, Ethereum, XRP, and now EOS, as well as any other cryptos you ask us to, we're going to do it daily for at least the next 2 weeks, maybe longer, so that we can have a look at and monitor this swing to the upside or dump to the downside that we are doing. So for those of you who are already here, I'd love for you to like this live stream. We put a tremendous amount of research and energy into this, so it's nice to get some energy back. And if you're new to the channel, we would love for you to subscribe, hit the bell, click all, so you get notified when we go live. We're at a really critical time right now for the entire crypto market. So in today's live stream, I'm going to explain what are all of these lines that I've got here on Bitcoin, and what do they mean, right? Are we going up? Are we going down? It looked like for a while there we were going to get the big dump that everybody's expecting. And now we've got a bit of an upturn. So I'm going to explain about that. I'm going to do some technical analysis, as I mentioned before, on Ethereum, XRP, and EOS. So first of all, where are you from? Where are you calling in from? Where are you viewing from? Would love to see some comments in the comment section, as well as letting me know where you're from. So before we start, I also just want to let you know that tickets are on sale for our Conscious Crypto event for traders. It is the very first event in the world just for crypto traders about trading cryptocurrency. And we have an awesome lineup for you. We've got Crypto confirmed, Da Vinci J, Crypto Wendy, Blockchain Today, Digital Asset News, Mahadao, Mazel Money. There are other guests here that have not yet confirmed. I think we've got Offshore Citizen coming as well. And the whole event is about getting you everything you need to know to maximize the super cycle that we're going into, possibly starting in September, October. And we've got 1 hour workshops with some of the biggest traders on YouTube. We're going to be talking about tax maximization, managing your emotions and psychology. We've got some technical analysis happening from traders, and Mazel Money is going to be helping those who've got the VIP tickets, looking at their portfolio and helping them with their strategies. Then we've got expert panels. We're going to be talking about the best indicators to use, what exit strategies to have for the end of the bull run. And I'm going to be talking about my prediction for when that is today as well. Then we're going to be talking about minimizing your tax, maximizing your wealth, going offshore. What would that entail? Profitable trader mindset we're going to dive into. What to do with all that Bitcoin when you've made all that Bitcoin, as well as balancing out your portfolio with the top pick of altcoins, DeFi, and NFTs, which ones to hold during the bear cycle and which ones to dump, and strategies on doing a little bit of either to maximize. The tickets at the moment for the early bird special, you get $400 off. I think it's $247 for the whole 3 days. There's a VIP pass there which has got over $700 worth of extra goodies. So that link is in the right there in the description, as well as in the chat for you. And I just wanted to point that out, that the early bird special tickets are only available for the next week and a half. So you're going to want to get in and get your ticket today. Otherwise, it is going to go up substantially. And then once you've decided, oh, I really need to be here because I want to know how to maximize my profits during this super cycle, as well as, get an opportunity to even talk to some of the traders that are going to be in the event, and you'll be paying a much higher price for it. So you don't want to do that. You want to get in on the early bird special. So the link over to the website is there for you to explore everything that we've got going. And we've got a number of other speakers lined up that we haven't had a chance to put up on the website, but they'll be up in the next couple of days. And I can assure you they're all really awesome. So let's start with Bitcoin. Where are we going? So for those of you who are following our channel, you know that I have been talking a lot about the repeating fractal of the Saturn retrograde as of last year. We're repeating the same pattern. So I'm in 2020. Saturn retrograde is a planet that affects the magnetic dynamics between other planets that can cause psychological factors in human beings, if you believe all that sort of thing, to behave in certain ways. And Saturn specifically is about limitation. It is about finances, career, and it's also about retarded speed when it goes retrograde. So it went retrograde last year on the 10th of May. This year, it went retrograde on the 13th of May, so 13 days later. And you can see we came down. We were at the top here. We came down into Saturn retrograde, came up a little bit, and then we just traded sideways throughout the rest of May, all through June and into July. And then when we get to the end of July, around about the 20th of July, we started slowly going back up. We had a spike up, across and down, and then as soon as we came out of Saturn retrograde, which is this yellow line here, we had a few days of going sideways, and then we went up into the big bull cycle. So far we are mirroring this fractal here exactly. So if we come over to where Bitcoin is on the daily, we're going to be possibly 13 days later. Excuse me. So let me just bring this down to size, scale it. You can see after the big dip, right? Here's Saturn retrograde. We had the dip just as we go into Saturn retrograde. And then we traded sideways between, $10,000 or $11,000. And as we went forward, we started trading even tighter and tighter. And so if we are to follow the fractal exactly, and so far we can always, deviate from it. We are looking at the 2nd of August being the potential rally to the upside if we are following this fractal here, and then a sharp spike up. What's really interesting to note that during the Saturn retrograde period, even though the speed at which the market was moving was very sluggish and very slow, just as it is now, at no time did it ever dip beyond its trajectory. Right, so we were creating, like within periods of time here, we were creating lower lows, and then we were creating higher lows, but just generally speaking, trading sideways with no really massive dump after that first massive dump, right? So what we did is come down just a little bit more and then just swing to the upside. So what, in theory, things aren't actually looking really good today. With Bitcoin, it's looking like we are, possibly heading down. However, we're also looking at fractals from the past that are showing that we might not get that really big dump. So let me show you what I'm talking about. On the weekly, we've been talking about the EMA, this ribbon here, supporting Bitcoin, and that even though we've come right down here, we wick down below the bottom of the EMA, we have actually been supported by the bottom of it, so that we could say we're still okay, right? Because we're getting that support. As of last night, when we printed the weekly candle, we can't say that anymore because we've got this red candle has cleared the bottom of the EMA, so it's no longer being supported. But what happened this morning, I don't know if any of you watched this red candle forming. What happened this morning is we hit that 30,030 dollars, I think it was, and the bulls just came rushing in and soared the price right back up to 30,790 at one stage, I think it was. What was the top of this? No, it actually went up into 31,000, and then now it's resting back down here. So now when I redraw the lines, I'm going, could we call this an ascending triangle, in which case it's possible that we've got a few more days of going sideways before we drop out of it? Or do we call this oops. Symmetrical triangle, in which case we've got a few days less before we actually break out, right? Now, for me, because I'm seeing that we are getting significant support here, if we draw this line all the way across there, this is the line to beat. And we, like, once again, when we came down to it, like, it was hilarious watching it. There was this fight going on and the bulls were winning. They just came rushing in, and they bought, you know, very heavily back into it, pushing the price into the patterns, so we actually didn't get a break to the downside. Now, if we are to break to the downside, we're looking at potentially 18,583 as a target. I don't think that's possible. The reason I say that is because in the entire history of Bitcoin, in the next bull cycle, we've not gone back under the top of the last bull cycle, which was 19,750 or something like that. Let's call it 20,000, right? So to go back down to 18,583 or even lower, I think that, you know, that would mean that we're creating history in the very first time. And we haven't been doing that with Bitcoin, really. We have been following patterns of previous bull cycles. So that's the bearish scenario, right? Whether it's a symmetrical triangle or whether it is an ascending triangle, both of those are slightly bearish patterns that break to the downside more often than they break to the upside. But look at what we've got here. On the weekly, we have a bullish divergence, right? And weekly bullish divergences can take weeks before they break out for Bitcoin. So we've got lower lows here on the RSI, and we've got higher lows here on price action. If we go down to the daily, you can see that this line is clearly supporting, like around about 30,300 or something like that, clearly supporting this price action. And there's not a lot of activity going down around in these lower numbers, but the highs are getting lower on the bigger picture. So then we come down onto the 4-hourly. This was the candle this morning. See this really big dump that happened, and then the bulls came in immediately. So conceivably, we could be coming back up again. Now, normally when we're trading within a pattern, we go to the bottom, then we go to the top, we go to the bottom, we go to the top, right? And it narrows. But within this pattern here, each high, except for this one little anomaly that happened yesterday, that we have been getting lower highs, so we're kind of sandwiching in. So I would even put in another resistance line there, and we could see the price come up to the EMA ribbon, get rejected and come back down, or go up back into it at around 31,757, come back down and trade within here. That's a possibility as well. But if we look at this, I mean, over and over again during this dump, we have had contradictory signs for Bitcoin. Is it going to go up? Is it going to go down? Right? And we've had contradictory signs. It could go up, it could go down. Now, here's another contradictory sign here. We have been trading on the 4-hourly in a downward channel, which breaks to the upside and goes to the top of the channel where the first candle touches. And in this instance, that might be all the way up at 33,525. So we have a bullish pattern inside of a bearish pattern. And we're going to see with this fight who is going to win. So if you're looking at a trade, unless you're an experienced scalper, the trade goes like this. You want a clear, confirmed breakout with volume. So given that we're coming to the end of this wedge here, you want to see the breakout for a short below 30,300. You want it to come down here. Let me just do this in here. You want to break out to the downside. Then you want it to come back up here and confirm. And then as it comes back down to actually confirm with volume that we are going down, you enter just below where we came down in the first place, unless we go into a free fall, unless we just start coming down and all the indicators are that a massive dump is going on. And usually, you know, if you're experienced trader, you would just jump in on a market buy and just ride it all the way down. So what's interesting is this green line is that green line should actually be the 2nd of August. So on the 2nd of August, or somewhere close to the 2nd of August, if we follow the fractal of Saturn retrograde, we're going up here and then we're going up. If we follow that fractal, that means we could get a rally out of this pattern in a few days. So I still think we're in a really critical time for Bitcoin, and you might want to just keep your capital close to you unless you're an experienced scalper and wait for the bigger breakout, right? So let's go back to the daily and find out what the targets are. The price targets. I mean, obviously, if we break out of this pattern here, we're probably going to fall short of the price target because of what I'd mentioned before. I have a tendency to think we're going to be going, if we go down lower, we're going to go and fulfill these prices here, 26,540 to 24,940. We could even go a bit lower down to 22,000 because we've got some nice support there. This is the CME gap that never got filled. So that's the Chicago Mercantile Exchange, right? So it is possible that we come down here to fulfill the target. I think the first target, though, would be the first target would be this lowest low here. And this is the danger of getting too excited and getting caught up. And all of these people that are saying, yeah, it's going down and it's going down to lower prices. We could just come down because remember, Bitcoin has not been reaching its targets. It's been falling short of its short targets, right? So if the target is down there, it might fall short at 26,000 or 28,000, which are known support areas. But also it could just create a double bottom here at 27,176. Touch this and go, yay, we've touched this point a second time, and now we're going up. Now, my bias has been bullish for the last week simply because we've got all of these bullish divergences on the weekly. And we've been getting them on the hourly periodically to see a swing to the upside. And now we've got this descending channel, which breaks to the upside more often than it breaks to the downside, right? And we've got the Saturn retrograde on the 2nd of August, the fractal from last year showing that we had a rally. So all of those things together have said, I think that that this is looking bullish more than it is bearish. However, yesterday when we got this candle under the EMA, this week I think if we don't break back up into the pattern, into the higher prices, this might end up being a wick. Then I would say that we are heading down to those lower prices. So now let me put in the Fibonacci levels for the whole market so we know market structure fib levels. And we'll do it to where the bull market started, around about there. And we're trading below the golden Fibonacci's for the actual golden ratio rather for the actual market itself, right? So the first real significant support area there is around 23,332. So if we do go back to close that CME gap, we could fall a little bit further before bouncing and coming up. And my sense of it is that we never spent we never spent much time in the 20s when we broke the all-time high at 20. We went sailing up into the 30s. So and we came back down to 28 or what have you, but we didn't do a lot of trading in that zone. So I think that if we do go down to those lower prices, it won't be long before we bounce right back up and get back into the 30s, and all the bulls will rush in. That's just my personal sense of it. So if we do break up to the upside, obviously the golden ratio is going to be the first place to look for, breaking above that to see if we then can confirm going into the bull run, which is around 44,000. We've got significant support resistance at 40, 41 and 42,000. And we've got this EMA to push up out of, which at the moment is around 39,500. So we've got a ways to go. So if you're looking to trade, you want to see, let me come back down into the 4 hourly because that's a safer trade here. You want to watch this descending channel and this green candle. It's possible that if we get more signs going to the upside, that will go to the top of this here and then come back down. So let me just put in the Ichimoku to see what the prediction is on the Ichimoku going forward. See, the Ichimoku is in red territory. So I wouldn't be putting in a long here unless you're an experienced scalper, because the Ichimoku is showing in the next couple of hours we could start coming back down to lower prices, trade sideways and come lower again. So we may indeed break out of this pattern to the downside within the next 8 hours to 12 hours. If we don't see this cloud change and if we don't see some kind of bullish momentum. At the moment, the baseline here for Bitcoin is above the conversion line, and it needs to be the other way around if you're longing. So this is more looking like short territory. However, we've bumped up against support, so we need to break through that support to then confirm it as resistance before you put a short in my humble opinion. Now, obviously I'm not a financial advisor, so you need to do your own research and make your own decisions, but I'm saying, and you know this if you've been trading this, we've been seeing U-turns on what has looked like a perfect setup for a short. You get into the short and it U-turns quite quickly and you're in the red, you're paying fees to be in the red, right? So then that's cutting into your profits. And then when we go down, we don't quite reach the target of the short. So the profit margin is even smaller. And if you've been open in the trade for more than a day or two, hoping for those lower prices, you know, those fees eat away at your profits. So I'm looking at taking care of my capital, and any day now, like literally within the next week, we are going to see some kind of a significant breakout that could have a really big swing to the upside or swing to the downside, a breakdown to the downside, and we'll go from there. I would just watch this bullish divergence though. This bullish divergence is showing us on the 4 hourly that within the next couple of days we may swing back up again before we get to lower prices. So again, contradiction in the charts. Ichimoku is showing further downside. The bullish divergence here is showing that we could swing to the upside any moment. If you look at the actual RSI itself, it's just started to swing back up. It's towards the bottom anyway. Not much more room to go down to the bottom. So we're in that territory where I think it's better to be safe than sorry, because this next big trade is a big one. And you want all your capital that you're going to be apportioned to this trade to be able to make the most of it. Because remember, the higher the leverage doesn't mean to say the higher the profits, because you've got fees that you have to consider, right? So sometimes the lower the leverage, but the bigger the position you have, you actually end up making higher profits, and you've got to weigh that up with, you know, what the fees are on the particular platform that you are using to make that decision. May I ask how long you have been involved in crypto and trading, Darko? Oh yes, thank you for asking that. I have only been involved in crypto for 2 years, but I have been in the stock market and I worked in the money markets. I worked for a big institutional bank, so taking all the institutional money and doing technical analysis for that. So my technical analysis, in full disclosure, has come from stock market experience, years and years and years of it. But my crypto experience, I've been following the markets for the last 2 years. Thanks for asking that question. I think that's really important to be upfront about that. Obviously, you're new to the channel because we do say that quite a bit. So let us have a look at the Ethereum. Ironically, Ethereum, for those of you who are new to my charts, I do a lot of pick up sticks because I see patterns when I do that. So let me just walk you through this. It's possible that Ethereum could be creating a ascending triangle, and the resistance is at 2,400, and it's looking a little more bullish, and we've got a bullish divergence than Bitcoin. And we've been talking on this channel quite a bit about how Ethereum might end up emerging the leader in this market, because quite often it starts a bullish trend when Bitcoin's going down, and all of a sudden Bitcoin will reverse and follow Ethereum, whereas prior to this big dump, Bitcoin has definitely been the leader. So we need to watch out for that. And we talk a lot about mindset here and managing our mindset. And one of the things we need to do is adjust our mindset to Bitcoin no longer being the leader, guaranteed, right? It's not guaranteed. Every now and then, we will see a breakout in one of the altcoins, or especially Ethereum, and then Bitcoin will follow suit. So we have to be very careful with shorting the market right now, because we've got bullish patterns showing here for Ethereum. And if you have a look at this descending wedge, a descending channel like this breaks to the upside more often than it breaks to the downside. And we've found support at this ascending line here on this potential ascending triangle, which I haven't closed yet. This is the line, this pink line that's coming up here. Sorry, guys, it's pink so that you can see it. We've been respecting this really well in terms of not dipping down below it until now as a potential support since the bull run started for Ethereum. So let's just say, for example, this is a wedge. We're going to break to the upside here, and we could go all the way up to the top to around maybe 2350. We might even go back up here. That would have then created a W. A lot of W's and M's have not played out fully in this market. It's been crazy, crazy, crazy. That could happen, right? But obviously, if we do get a big dump on Bitcoin, it does tend to take the whole market with us. So if you're looking for a trade for Ethereum, you're either waiting for a short to break down from this line here, come back up and confirm it as resistance so that it's not a fake out and it doesn't end up being a fake out that comes back into the pattern. We want to confirm this as resistance, which means we come back up, touch it, come near it, or get rejected from it to turn around and come back down, confirming that we're going to the downside, right? And then that would be the time to enter. So we haven't got a breakout here, so we can't really speculate on what that is. But if you were to short anywhere between 1850 to 1700, this is danger territory, because we still could come down here to create a double bottom at 1700 or 1694, somewhere around there, right? So just be very, very careful if you are entering shorts a little bit earlier. Personally, I wouldn't. I would wait till we have a lot more confirmation. Especially, we want to get past these bullish divergences, because not all bullish divergences play out, but if they do, then we want to make sure that we're in the best position for entry. So I think right in this moment, it's the next 4-hour candle for Ethereum. Let's have a look at the 4-hour, because that was a daily. That is going to help us. See, look, already we've got a green candle, which means we could potentially be coming back up into the pattern. and that's a waiting game to see. As I mentioned before, we are going to be doing daily technical analysis for the next 2 weeks, live streaming as we go through this process of reaching, where are we on the Bitcoin? Oh, here it is here, this here to the 2nd of August, where we reach this target of a potential fractal that we repeat in the previous Saturn return, which is where the market starts to upturn, go up sharply and come across and come back down in a kind of like a really wide Bart Simpson. So I was on Ethereum, so waiting game on Ethereum. XRP, little bit danger zone here for XRP. And I mean, clearly, in my opinion, we've got quite a lot of manipulation. And the reason why I say that is because we are right at the bottom of major support that we've got here. This line here at around 50, what is it, 57, let's call it 57, had significant support over here to the left when it was going up. Sorry, not significant support, significant resistance. And then over here, we haven't, once we've come down and we've broken down into this downward spiral that we've been in, it's been acting as support. So we don't really have that far to go with XRP unless we're going to head back down to 25 cents or 18 cents. Which is where the bull at the price at the bull cycle really started off. And I think it went down to about 17 cents when the SEC announced its lawsuit. Ichimoku is looking very bearish, but even though it's looking like there's a descent in price, we have actually been trading sideways. So let's come down into a smaller time frame. Yeah, see, well, we've had this, this beginning of an ascending wedge, which has already broken down and already met its target. And you could also call that a Bart Simpson. And whenever it go, when we get a sharp up here like this, and then it comes across and then it comes down like that, I mean, it's not 100% a Bart Simpson, but it kind of looks like it, right? Usually we do get some upside here for XRP. So if you're looking to trade XRP, we're at the bottom of the RSI down here. We could go lower a little bit, but if you use the CM Williams VIX, which is this indicator down here, you'll see this green candle here. Usually a green candle is an indication that we might get a small swing to the upside, which has already begun to start. So you might, if you're an experienced scalper, you might wait till we get inside the pattern on another green candle and ride it up. But the problem is there isn't really much profit in that, because if you look at this here, we are creating lower lows. So if we come up, we might hit this 57 cents as a resistance line and then come back down again. If not, we may only go up to 58 cents and then come back down again. But we're literally 2 days away from a massive outbreak for XRP, which is also coinciding with this SEC deposition that we've got. Is it a deposition? And they Ripple have been able to depose Hinman, who is somebody critical in the SEC, who's no longer with them, on conversations that happened that is going to reveal some dirty dealings from the SEC, or at the very least that there has been a concerted effort to suppress the price of XRP for anti-competitive reasons. So some of that might start leaking out this week, and in that case, we may see a really big explosive move. But as always, if we get a massive dump on Bitcoin, it doesn't matter what the other charts look like, it's often gets taken down as well. But if we have a look at this descending channel we're in, we've not made it down here from this breakout. We're coming back up probably to test this line as previous resistance, and then it would reverse back down and come back down there. And so if you're looking to trade this, I would wait till we get down to about 55 cents before putting in a short. And then if the RSI is at the top here, if we've got volume, if the Ichimoku is in resistance, then we could break down further. And in this case, the first target would be around 37 cents, but I would watch this target here, 51 cents, because we could come down there, create a double bottom, and then go back into the bear run. So waiting game on that as well. Now, we've had a number of people that are really excited about EOS, and in my Crypto Ninjas group, which is our private mastermind group teaching you technical analysis, EOS seemed to be something that people were interested in. We had somebody in our live stream a few weeks ago, and I looked at EOS and I went, oh, I wouldn't trade this because there's quite a lot of price manipulation going on in there. However, that was a potential diamond that wasn't really, it was a bit ugly. When I actually did some research on it, let me just turn that off so we can see. I actually saw that EOS is more bullish than Bitcoin and Ethereum, right? Because it has consistently been creating these higher lows. We might need to adjust that line there to take that there. Hang on, let me get down into the daily so I can do this properly for you. I mean, normally when you do your trend lines, you want candles to touch as many times as possible. So really, we should be doing that, right? So what I do in that case is I will copy that and I will do the wicks at the bottom, so I know that we've sort of got this no man's land in here that we could be coming down into. So a few days ago, EOS was looking way more bullish than the other cryptos, but now it's actually reversed, and the reason I was saying that because we were doing higher highs and high lows. So with EOS, the time to short would have been here. Right now, we want to see a bounce, come back up here to retest this line as resistance and reverse back down and come back down again. Now, a couple of times EOS has been going in the different direction from Bitcoin, but at the moment it's fallen into line with Bitcoin. If you have a look at the Ichimoku to scale, this is showing a big dump coming, potentially, right? From here to there, we could see a swing to the upside. Often when you see the Ichimoku cloud support line there like that, we can often cut through the cloud when we see those. But we've got these declines here and this very sharp decline here. So this is set up to dump. So I would say that at the very least, whenever you come out of an ascending wedge, you come back down to the bottom, which is $3 here where we started, right? And then if we're going to go down lower, let's have a look at our Fibonacci for the market, so we can see where the golden ratio is, because that's usually an indication of where things might find significant support or resistance. So we're going to start at the all-time high, and we're going to go down here just to get our market in. Oh, look at that. Beautiful. Touched the high of this market, touched beautifully the first golden ratio. That's really awesome. So that's that. Then we come back down. We don't really have too far to go down with EOS. It's already towards the bottom pretty much of its market value. Right down here, there's some significant support at $2.42, $1.92, and then this here at $1.65. So this is going to be very fascinating, because there is somebody said, I can't remember who it was, said that EOS as a value may go up to $36, but at the moment it's looking pretty bleak. So in terms of a trade, I would be waiting for a confirmed breakout from this line here, because this could again be a fake out, and we could come back down into the pattern, in which case we could long it all the way up to here. So we just want to wait and get confirmed direction here with volume, obviously. At the moment, if you look at the volume, it's coiling up. And whenever the volume coils up like that, there's usually a big move coming. So we're going to watch that. Awesome, guys. So that is our market analysis for today. We're going to be doing this every day at 11:30 in the morning in USA Mountain Time. I would love for you to like if you found that valuable. We're still watching this market. We want to watch it every day so that we can see, are we going to get this Saturn retrograde swing to the upside, or are we going to see lower prices? And we want to follow that with you. And also just a reminder once again, if you're wanting to come to the Conscious Crypto event for traders, it's right at the time where we could be entering into a super cycle for crypto. So you're going to come away armed with strategies, with things that some of these YouTubers cannot say on YouTube because of the big C word, or two big C words now. And we want you to walk away with a tremendous amount of value, ready to absolutely capitalize on that super cycle, as well as doing it, maximizing or minimizing your tax and maximizing your profits, so that you don't end up having to give everything to the government. So there's going to be lots of secrets revealed there, and you can get the ticket. There's a link below in the comment section as well as in the description, where you can go over, check it out, get your early bird special ticket price. The prices are going up at the end of July, so this is your only opportunity to get it at a really good rate for the whole 3 days. So you might as well get in and now before either the early bird special runs out, or if we have a good run on ticket sales in the next couple of weeks. We do have limited seats because this is online. The first event is online, and we're hoping to do the next event next year in Costa Rica live, just depending on world events and what's going on there. So we'll start online and deliver tremendous amount of value for you guys. So until tomorrow, remember always that we want you to be thinking about what scenarios are affecting the price of Bitcoin, not just looking at the technical analysis, because there are other things that can shake the market up, as we always like to tell you and show you. And also to watch the mindset. Be patient. Be very, very patient at this time, and adopt the mindset of protecting your capital, right? Not getting too crazy. So that when we do have those big moves, you've got crypto to be able to trade it. You haven't lost it in the volatility in the meantime. So that being said, guys, trade consciously. Bye for now.